I am thinking of switching to the Bulgarian method. I just read the book by Omar Yusuf and Greg Knuckles called The Bulgarian Manual. And off the top of my head, the program basically asks you to do a daily minimum of your squat and bench for at least 4 times a week, up to 7 times a week, so every day of the week. The daily minimum is basically, I think, 80% of your 1 rep max, a rep that you can breeze through with no issues on any given day. So, for example, for my bench press, if it were touch and go, it will be 80% of 285, which would be, I think, around 245 for 1 rep, and that would be my bench workout for the day. And you will do that every day for that whole week, or as many days as you can, with at least 4 days in the week. But the program suggests that you work up to a daily minimum, and then you ask yourself whether or not you feel okay, at least okay or good, and then if not, you stop that there. And if you feel okay or good, you move up to a daily max, which probably could be like 85 or 90% of your 1 rep max, if not more, as you ease into the high intensity or high frequency, which is what the program is called, high intensity, high frequency, HF. And you do your daily max, and then you ask yourself, are you feeling okay or good? Or do you feel terrible? If you feel terrible, that's it. That's your squat. And then you move on to bench, right? Or if that's your bench, then the program is basically over for the day. And then if you feel okay or good, you can add drop-off sets, like 2 to 3 sets of doubles or triples. But the program suggests that you do these sets only if you have been doing your daily max and you've been stalling based on the amount of weekly volume that you are doing for that week or those 2 weeks. If you're stalling, and then you can add, a couple sets a day, increasing that weekly volume. I think daily volume or even the daily maximum, based on what the manual says, doesn't really matter. What really matters is the weekly volume that drives your progress. And making PRs from time to time, I think that also matters, right? But I think the main key factor is the weekly volume that drives your progress. And as you stall eventually more, you will add more and more volume. So eventually the program doesn't work for you anymore. I'm sorry y'all have to watch, by the way, my horrendous deadlift form. I'm unable to keep my back straight. I think this week just has been more fatiguing for me in terms of squats and deadlifts. Usually I can keep my back flatter, but I know this is also 385, so maybe that's why, but yeah. Anyways, there's a part of the manual that is called the Superman effect, where Greg and Omar refers to John Fung as one of the key lifters who've done this. Basically, you still squat and bench the same amount of days, like 4 to 7 days, and what you do, instead of just maybe low bar squatting or comp pause benching, you would be doing variations of squat and bench. So one day I could be doing low bar, other day I could be doing low bar pause, and then high bar paused, And for bench, could be pause bench, 3 count pause, feet up bench, etc. Right? And instead of going for a 1 rep max, like a daily min and a daily max, you would not do any of that and go for a rep PR of any kind. Could be 1 rep, 2 reps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Any variation of that, and you do that on the days you do your program, and you can make PRs all the time, right? Maybe, you can set days, set days to do different lifts. For example, your day 1 could be low bar, day 2 could be high bar, day 3 could be low bar pause, day 4 could be high bar pause, day 5 could be front squats, right? And you could aim for a 5 rep max or a 3 rep max. I think, probably under RP8, and make progress there. And then still, the weekly volume principle still applies, I believe, right? So you just do these different lifts on different days, and if you are making PRs and you see, like, for example, on your week 3 you hit a 450-pound low bar squat PR for 3, and then a month later you hit that for 475 for 3, right? Obviously you've gotten stronger, right? Especially if the RPE is about the same, and then you can track based on that. And then if you're getting maybe 450 for 3 2 months later, or even like a month later, you can add maybe drop down sets like 80 to 90% of 450 for a couple sets of 2 or 3, right? And then by tracking your weekly volume, you can see that you need more volume, and that's why you add these drop off sets. So now let's talk about more why I want to do this program. So I think there's a couple reasons. The first reason is this is just more fun, right? I don't have to follow a prescribed program, and I've been doing that forever. And having these variations for my squat and my bench will make lifting more fun in the long term. Now, the second reason is because I'm doing these variations, I can cover more of my weaknesses, right? Maybe I have my knees shoot back or my hips shoot back on the squat, which I do. Then I can do more high bar and front squat to make PRs there, right, with good form, instead of having to be restricted with doing low bar on this day and then doing low bar pause on one other day and doing no high bar and front squats, right? Like, you don't have to find a program that has high bar and front squats in the program. You can just adjust based on your needs, right? Which I think is very important. The third reason is either version of this program, right? The one with the daily min and max and the Superman effect, there's little to no accessories that's really needed, and it's all up to you still. So based on your strengths and weaknesses, right, you could do some more back work for your lats, for your traps. You can do face pulls if you want, but it's nothing that's required. And with the amount of squatting and benching you'll do, I think a lot of your muscles will be covered, right? And if you're more focused on powerlifting, I think this really fits your needs. If you're more of a power building or bodybuilding person, this program might not work for you, I think. But if you still want to do high intensity, high frequency with bodybuilding, then you can look for the Slavic Swole program, which is available on Stronger by Science, Greg Knuckles' website for $10. I think it's called the Bulgarian Bundle. So you can look for that if you want to do something that's like this, but more focused on building bigger muscles. And now with that point, I want to talk about a few of the cons that I might experience with this program. I think the first one is the frequency, right? How are my knees going to feel? My hips going to feel, right? I assume that my hips and knees will have some trouble adapting. Like with the small up, I had trouble adapting and I quit. But I think this is low volume enough on a day-to-day basis where my body should be able to adapt. But I want to see, I don't want to get hurt, right? And I'm also interested in seeing how my bench would work on this. Like, I love high volume, high frequency benching, but I have never benched more than 4 times a week, right? And I have never squatted more than 4 times a week. What has worked for me for a while was squatting twice a week on Insons, and then squatting about 3 times a week on Greg Knuckles' 28 free programs. But I have yet to see whether or not this works, but I have confidence in that, but I'm not too sure. And this is something that I know for sure will not work for everyone, not in terms of just how much time they have, and not dependent on just their lifestyle, but whether or not they're committed to doing this, right? And now to some final thoughts. I'm not sure whether or not I should do this program at the beginning of the year, which means I'm thinking about starting Tuesday, which means that will be on January 4th, 2022, which means I would do my third week, of my Calgary Barbell 8-week program on Friday and Saturday, and then take 2 days off to get ready for squatting and benching every day. I'm going to do 7 days a week. Um, I'm not sure whether or not to just stop midway through Calgary Barbell or finish it and do this. I'm really tempted to just jump into this, but I'm worried that this might not work out, and I guess I can just go back to Calgary Barbell 8-week program. So I'm debating on that, but I'm really looking forward to just squatting and benching every day and getting out of my home gym in less than an hour, and deadlifting once or twice a week, adding on to that hour probably an hour 20, including some hip thrusts and barbell rows maybe once or twice a week to keep my back and my glutes stronger, but keeping the accessory lifts and my deadlifts to minimum to focus on my squat and my bench. So yeah, you'll see in my next few videos whether or not I decide to go to do this program straight up, or I will go through 5 more weeks of Calgary Barbell 8-week program. We'll see. Hopefully I don't make the wrong choice. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this helped y'all, and let me know if y'all have any questions. Peace out.